excited about this, to learn how we can use our minds to change our bodies. It's fascinating. The owner of Lasting Change Hypnosis Clinic, Irina Benoit, is here. So diets, anybody who's ever tried to diet knows the frustration of losing. Sometimes you actually do get to lose the weight, but it always comes back on. What is it about diets that makes them doomed to fail?
Yes, I believe that diet actually is the #1 reason why people gaining weight.
Really?
Yep, because well, first of all, diet is a perfect setup for failure for a few reasons. If you're not live on a diet, it's just a temporary measure. No diet can change the way you feel around food. No diet can change emotional eating. And again, 75 or if not 80% of all weight gain caused by emotional eating. Eating for comfort. Eating because you're stressed, worried, angry, frustrated, overwhelmed, to reward yourself, to celebrate life, to escape making choices, all that stuff. So emotions coming from subconscious mind. Diet cannot change the way you are connected emotionally to food. And I found that hypnosis is a wonderful way of changing that relationship with food back to their normal and natural. So you eat when you're physically hungry and stop when you're comfortably full. Another reason that why diet changing the, I call it creating faulty mental programming, is because there are two centers in the hypothalamus, center of hunger and connected to its center of fullness. So on a diet,
so hunger and fullness are,
they're connected. So if on a diet, while on a diet, you're not paying attention to the signals of center of hunger because you're saying, no, I'm gonna eat 2-3 hours later. No, I'm gonna eat 100 calories instead of whatever, right? So you're suppressing your hunger. Then what happens is there on the other side of that link, the center of fullness. You don't hear the signals.
You're not feeling satiated.
Yep, you never feel full.
So you're completely, you're ignoring all of the natural body signals by doing it that way.
Absolutely, and that's why usually people gain more after they stop dieting, because they created this disturbance between those two centers. The stomach and brain is no longer wired the way they were when we were born. So, yeah.
How do we develop emotional connections to food? I know as a kid it was an escape for me for sure. But I didn't know that at the time.
Yes.
So how is it that develops in the first place?
Okay, let's talk about habit. So we talk about kind of complicated psychological things in a very, very simple way. How we create a habit. There are two major requirements to create a habit: repetition and emotion. Think of yourself. Would you be able to learn how to drive a car and become a good driver by just reading a good book on driving?
That's right.
No, you have to have an experience. So we have created thousands of wonderful habits, buttoning the shorts and tying on the shoes, brushing teeth. And we also created a couple of not really positive ones. Looking at the food as a source of comfort. A little baby comes and crying to your grandmother saying, "Grandmother, he just did this at school, this boy, he just hurt me." And what grandmother does, she says, "Well, baby, don't cry, get the candy, feel good."
That's right.
And that's what
Have
we
a
do.
cookie.
Yep.
So it starts very innocently and it develops into this negative habit.
Yep.
So what would we experience if we were to come for a session with you?
You will, every client of mine have, and I've done, I think, around 11,000, I've helped about 11,000 people to change their habits, including eating habits, since I came to Canada in the last 10, 11 years. So you experience a sense of relaxation. So hypnosis is just a state of relaxation. It's, we're not using the pendulum. You're not going to be unaware, you're not going to be asleep, you're not going to be cataleptic, you're going to be just deeply relaxed, kind of in a kind of relaxed state, because that state of meditation or relaxation, a relaxing mindset allows positive messages to be transferred in that hard drive.
It's like you get down to the original layer.
Yes.
And you can put the messages directly onto the carbon paper, right?
Absolutely, and hard drive subconscious mind accepts those messages, because actually subconscious mind never wants us to crave sugar or fattening stuff. We never crave the sugars. People don't crave food. We crave a good emotion, a good feeling. Once we train the mind how to get to that good feeling without reaching out for a food, the problem is solved.
So when would we use this technique on ourselves? when we're going about our daily life?
Well, I teach every one of my clients, I teach self-hypnosis. They're practicing saying hypnosis to stop emotional eating, stop cravings. Usually it happens within, right after one session only.
Wow.
People stop craving, and then we develop healthy eating habit. Remember driving the car? The longer you drive it, the more habitual it becomes. Now you know you're not going to forget how to drive the car in the next 5-10 years. Why? Because the longer you drive, the more automatic it becomes. So I help people to go back to nature, and then repetition in emotion creates the same thing. Habit, healthy eating habit. So I'm teaching them self-hypnosis, how to relax and let go.
That's amazing. What do you say to them when they're in that deeply relaxed state? What is the message you are trying to implant?
Helping people to change their relationship with food and get in touch with that feeling of comfort, security, and peace without reaching for food.
So what do you say?
Oh, it could be a lot. It could be, I found that many people attach to this sense of loneliness, insecurity, and fear that comes from the time when they were children. So I work with the concept, of what we call in psychology inner child, and making that little girl within you feeling safe and secure.
So you would say you're safe.
Yes,
everything's fine.
Absolutely. And imagine yourself hugging that little girl. And imagine your subconscious mind that holds 97% of brain capacity, a huge bulldozer, and that little girl used to drive that bulldozer away from pain and hurt, and found only one way to comfort you. It's a time for you to take a seat behind the wheel and take that little girl, hug her, and put her in the back seat, saying, you know what, you're safe, I'm with you.
That's amazing. So getting in there, rewriting those messages that have been implanted so that your relationship with food changes, and therefore you can go forward with a healthy relationship with
Absolutely.
food. Love it. LastingChangeHypnosis.ca. They can contact you for more info?
Absolutely,
Love
yes.
that. All right, LastingChangeHypnosis.ca. This will be the last summer you ever have to worry about that. When we come back, how to get a dancer's body. Now that you've got a good relationship with food, create a good relationship with exercise, right?